On June 28, 2019, Andy Ryan tweeted, Her. Who's your favorite character in The Muppet Show? Me. The vampire. Her. He doesn't count. Me. I can assure you that he does. This is the Museum of Twitter, the show where we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. I have to do a quick one tonight for I have somewhere to be reasons, and so I decided to do this one, which is just a great joke. It's a silly pun that works on multiple levels, and it's also a type of joke that really works best on Twitter. Because the joke is a conversation joke. You really couldn't tell it verbally in any way that makes sense. It works best written out as lines of dialogue with her and me and her and me. And the reason I love this joke especially is because the multiple levels it works on leads people to think that they're smarter than the joke. Because this joke is referring to the Muppet Count Von Count, and the first level of pun relies on the fact that count has multiple meanings. When her uses the word count, they mean it to mean included. He doesn't count means he isn't included. But me takes that to be literally like counting the number of things. And that, of course, is the thing that Count Von Count does all the time. In fact, he might be the most famous counter in all of fiction. Like, who's doing it like him?
Ah, that's one. One bet. Two bets. Three fabulous flyers!
But the second level of the joke, which is honestly probably pretty obvious for lots of people, but it's not obvious for lots of people on Twitter, is that he literally doesn't count for what the question was. The best way to demonstrate this is with people who thought they were smarter than the joke. Like Jessica Chastain, who says, asterisk, Sesame Street, but the joke is still fire. Happy Labor Day, y'all. Or the girl who lives who said, wait, isn't Count Dracula of Sesame Street who counts? I need to rewatch. Well, one, she's wrong, his name is Count Von Count, and like, yeah, he is from Sesame Street. Hence why the her in the conversation says he doesn't count. Because while he is technically a Muppet, he is not a part of the Muppet Show. And so if you were to ask someone who's your favorite character in the Muppet Show, and they responded the vampire, he doesn't count is an appropriate response. Because he doesn't count. I will say I appreciate Phony Mahoney, who had some more humility, where he said, as a Muppets and Sesame Street nerd, I was stuck on, but the count was not on the Muppet Show way too long to have gotten the point of this joke. I don't know, there's just something I love about a joke that makes people look silly, thinking that they're smarter than it. Because yes, there are jokes that you are smarter than, but nothing irritates me more than people who go around and approach humor with the idea of like, I'm gonna outsmart this, I'm gonna actually this humor. Because if you think that Andy Ryan is simply making a mistake and thinks that the count is part of the Muppet Show, why would her in the conversation say he doesn't count to begin with? In that case, she's just saying it as a contrived setup for the punchline. In that case, it's just a bad joke. I don't know, as I'm listening to myself talk, I realize I'm too annoyed about this. Now, Andy Ryan himself is very proud of this joke. He actually searches people who copy it and then responds to them. I'm not gonna show that because I don't like showing people who copy tweets. And like, on the one hand, I'm like, I appreciate that because I hate when people copy tweets. But on the other hand, I don't know how much I want to endorse searching your own tweet, but that's whatever. Or maybe he'll just tag him in those tweets. I don't want to assume that he's searching them. An update I did appreciate is that when the tweet got to 5,000 retweets, he posted a photo of the count with the caption, 5,000 retweets? As a side note, whoever came up with the idea that the Sesame Street character that should teach kids how to count should be a count, genius. I also do think it's funny that Count Dracula is so synonymous with counts that, like, we just assume that a count is a vampire. Because nothing about the name Count Von Count would suggest that he's a vampire, but we don't really blink at it. Just a thought. Now, this joke is not something that's referenced a lot because it's an isolated joke, but sometimes it does when people want to post about vampires. Like, E.B. took a photo with his vampire statue and said, me, name your favorite literary vampire. Him, the one from Sesame Street. Me, he doesn't count. Him, I can assure you that he does. Now, I think that she's referencing one of the worst copied versions of Andy's tweet, because this one, as you notice, completely gets rid of the Muppet Show part. And just 2 days ago, Universal Howlers posted a bunch of photos of fictional vampires and said, choose your favorite vamp, and the Count is one of them. And Papist Whimsy said, the Sesame Street one doesn't count. Oh, I can assure you that he does. This one does work, in my opinion, because you can imagine some dork saying for some reason that the count doesn't count on this list. Look, Twitter is often known as a vile cesspool, but it is nice that there's some good, clean humor on it, too. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes there is some overlap in the Venn diagram of things that could be in a book called 1,000 Jokes for Your 10-Year-Old Kid and tweets. Follow me for a new tweet every day, and please consider joining my Patreon, patreon.com/Museum of Twitter, where you get a weekly bonus episode called the Museum of Not Twitter, and you get access to my Discord, where you can vote on what I cover on Subscriber Sundays.